working for the past 7 years with inmates at Hudson Corrections. For the past 5 years, I've been working with the juvenile justice system, as some of y'all here present do as well. For those of us that get to step foot behind that wall and get to observe on our own, you get to realize real quick that this is not human.
Right.
There are certain strategies, like the way they paint the walls, the way they feature your food, the way they ring bells on Pavlov's theory to get you used to and confused about your identity, walking around acting like you're an inmate.
Yes.
That is not our identity. It was never that. We were gods. We were kings and queens on this earth. How did we go from being kings and queens and royalty to being something called an inmate and a slave? The only way they got us like that is because they got the veil pulled over our eyes.
That's right.
Freedom is a declaration.
Yes.
Freedom is a declaration. And we have to declare it now. We have 5 months until November. For those of us that want to step up and take action are really about reform, really want to see change in our community, we have to focus our efforts in making sure that we abolish this law that allows slavery to exist with punishment for a crime. Right? As of now, we have a collective of 46 organizations around the state of New Jersey. We also have nationally based organizations like National Fraternal and Sorority organizations, Greek-lettered. We have beautiful people in this audience. So what I want to do is introduce, because this is something I need y'all to do. I know y'all been seeing me spearhead this, fine. But we know what happens to leaders, right?
Yeah.
Do y'all love me?
We do.
Y'all want to see me here?
Absolutely.
So that means y'all need to step up too. There can't be no leader movement. A leaderless movement is where we're going to go. Because we all have the ability to enact the leadership in us. This cause is not my cause. This issue is not my issue. This is our cause. This is our issue. And I need every single one of you to own it. Don't be afraid to speak for your freedom. Don't be afraid to declare it to the world. All right, family, I love y'all and appreciate y'all for being here. 1:45. November. We must register our people to vote. We have a reason to register them to vote now. It ain't gonna be for Biden. It's gonna be for our freedom. We need to push our legislators. The bill's sitting there. We need people to make calls. If you know a legislator, reach out. I don't care if it's city council, county, government, they all know each other. Reach out to everybody you know and say that we are demanding our freedom now. We're not waiting anymore. All right, familia? With much love, thank you so much for being here. I want to introduce Sister Pamela Johnson from the Jersey City Anti-Violence Coalition.
Good afternoon, kings and queens.
Hey.
I am very proud to be a supporter to amend the 13th Amendment. When we talk about involuntary servitude, 21 years ago, they made profit off my black body in Hudson County Correctional Facility on Rikers Island in Essex County Jail. I did my time, but I came out a different person. And I never really talk about that story because I never want to think back. I'm always moving forward, but this is the time that I can say, yes, Pamela Johnson, they made profit off my black body, fed me garbage, held me hostage, and basically tried to kill me. But we still here and we still fighting.
That's right.
Right? I think that's the same thing about struggle. You know, struggle builds character, struggle makes us stronger. I'm happy to go back on the south side to our Juneteenth celebration and educational summit that we have, because we're educating them about Amendment 13. I'm proud to go back and make sure they know why they need to vote. And be proud of going to the booth this time, because your vote does matter this time. You may not think it mattered all the other times, but it matters this time. So I'm a proud supporter, and I won't be here long, but power to the people.
That's right. Power to the people.
I want to state the significance as to why we got homeboy in the back, right? On Juneteenth, in front of Lincoln's statue, right? Lincoln was the only president to ever sign an amendment. I don't know if anybody knew that. The 13th Amendment was the only amendment ever signed by a president. That's how proud he was that he got to pass it. He spent a lot of time battling to make sure that he did, but it wasn't based on the premise of racial equality. It was war strategy. They were trying to beat the South. So let's get it out of our minds that Lincoln was a hero that freed the people, because we know when we read that sentence, that's not what happened. They ceded at the last moment. They interjected and said, if we release the slaves and we criminalize them, we could bring them back to slavery. And it's not a coincidence that the black and brown body is always labeled a criminal. So I needed to make sure that we had this visual in the back, just to make sure on the day that we celebrate emancipation that it's not over yet. All right? I'm going to introduce Brother Frank Gilmore from Educational Gilmore.
Brother Frank. All right, friend.
How y'all doing out there today? Good
Peace,
people?
family, peace.
I want to thank everybody for coming out this afternoon. I'm not just here to stand in unison with the brothers and sisters. This is personal, people. This is personal for me right here. I was sentenced to 120 months in state prison, of which I did 80.
That's right. That's right.
Of which I worked on a highway detail, and I was proud that I was getting $325 a day.
A day.
I was proud that I was getting $325 a day. I never even knew nothing about the 13. I never knew nothing about the 13. I never knew nothing if there was anything in our Constitution that still had an exception clause in it.
Yes.
You know, we're fighting for something that essentially should be a due diligence, a human right.
That's right.
A human right.
That's
We're
right.
standing here fighting for in 2020. This is unfathomable, people. In fact, when I tell you this stuff is personal, I mean it's personal. I came home, I got my life together, I went to Rutgers University,
That's right, nephew.
and I said I wanted to study some things,
Tell 'em that,
and it comes to find out it costs more to house me in prison than to educate me.
Yeah.
So that's why this stuff is personal. This stuff is personal right here. So when we out here and we're pushing for different elected officials to get in office, no. Vote for your brother. Vote for your sister. We should not have an exception clause in our Constitution,
That's
people. It shouldn't be that. So again, this time is personal. I'm taking this fight personal, and I'm fighting with the people and for the people in representation of the people of God. And all my brethren from South Jersey, raise your fist in the air. South Jersey now. All right. So to recognize that we have again, now we're at 47 organizations statewide, and South Jersey is represented, and they did come up today to represent North Jersey. So I want to invite Brother Stephen Young from the National Action Network and Atlantic City.
Let's go, Brother Steve.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Peace be unto you.
Peace.
Shalom. And I am present for peace.
Yes.
And that's what we need today is peace and love.
Yes.
And I want to thank Brother Dennis. Let's give him a round of applause. Because he did not stop when it comes to the rights, the human rights
Human rights.
of us
Yes.
throughout this country.
Yes.
Now it's being heard throughout the world. Everybody in the world, because of George Floyd, have seen the racism, systematic racism in this country.
Systemic.
Now we have an opportunity to do something about it in November,
That's right.
amend the 13th.
All right.
And you can do it for yourself this time, so you can have freedom. Because as long as that Constitution stands there today, you are not free.
That's right.
We used to see South Africa fight for freedom.
Yes.
They put their bodies on the ground,
Yes, they did.
blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
And we still not free here in America.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a revolution going on
Yes,
now
it is.
with our black youth.
That's right.
They say Black Lives Matter now,
Yeah.
but as they speak up, they're going to need us, our prayers,
Right.
and us beside them.
Yes.
Because right now today,
Yes.
there was a time in history we used to say we see black folks being hung back in down south and lynched. That was in the 60s. But you see it today, so now you're a part of history.
That's right.
Now what you gonna do about it?
Okay.
That's right.
Come on, Steve.
We must wake up. And I'm with the National Action Network, which is a national organization of the South Jersey president. I'm with the Atlantic City Peacekeepers, where we patrol our own neighborhoods, so you don't have to worry about the police being today. Train you in CPR, first aid, and a proper way of handling people.
That's right.
And that's what a lot of police officers do not know how to do.
How to handle people.
So we believe in doing it ourselves. But so far, all over the world, everybody has been seeing when we try to advance for ourselves through Black Wall Streets, we still see this system of systematic racism with their knee on our neck.
That's right.
But we're standing up today.
Yes.
And as we bring that knee off our neck,
Yes.
we will cry for freedom. And we will stand up for freedom. And we will continue to fight. But as you see our young people in the street today, do not be afraid of them.
That's right. Approach it.
They're going through a history right now like no one never seen. COVID-19 gave us time to think to ourselves and atone to ourselves as a human being all over the world. But as we wake up, you woke up a giant today.
Yes, sir.
A giant. A giant of black people is going to stand up, and people of color is going to stand up and say, no more, no more, no more.
No more.
So I want to leave you with this. Stay humble,
Okay.
but fight.
That's right.
Stay humble,
Stay humble,
but fight.
but fight.
And we don't want you to only talk about it. You got to be about it.
Absolutely.
You got it.
And Jesus, Muhammad, and Moses, where they was at most in the street.
In this day.
So we need to stand up. And if we're going to walk in those footsteps,
Yes.
we got to walk up strong.
Okay.
And I like what my brother said. It's you that we're voting for.
That's right.
So look at yourself. So we started what you call, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud,
I'm black and I'm proud.
say it loud,
I'm black and I'm proud.
say it loud.
I'm black and I'm proud.
Brother Steve.
All right, family. Speaking of youth, I want to introduce some beautiful member of our youth community here in Jersey City. His name is Nazir Man. He wants to share some words with you.
Come on, Isaiah. Come on,
Hey guys, I see you young fellas.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
It should not be peculiar to see me up here right now because of my age, honestly. Because these young boys, wait, who knows how old was Emmett Till?
16. 16.
13.
I'm 20, so it shouldn't be that bad for me. Dennis Febo, I met him when I was 15. And I was heavy in gang life, heavy gang street. I wanted to be that. That was all I seen. That's all I absorbed. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it happened. So I can't look at it and look like it's a negative experience. It happened. I learned from it. But this brother, I was 15, he came in with a dashiki on, with his dreadlocks. And I'm like, first of all, why is he posing? Because I know he's not black. Why is he doing it? But I was naive. And that is the general perception of young people. They're naive. I was 15, I'm 20 now. 5 years later, I'm here helping this man
That's right.
take out systematic racism in our Constitution. What is that? That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I swear it don't. But what I want to say is this, that look, even though we're peaceful people and we're demanding, but we're very diligent, we're very calm and collected, but this is a fight. It's psychological. And that's where we get messed up at it. Because I see myself getting absorbed in today's social media and the trends and what's going on because of what they show us. But this right here is the truth. And we can't, there's no sugarcoating that. Now we came out here for a reason. It's beyond George Floyd, it's beyond Trayvon, it's beyond any Emmett Till, any death that ever happened. We are on a land right now where we came over as slaves. I don't like that, and that's not going to be accepted ever. But at the same time, I know a lot of allies who are close to me. One is my employer, Robin Gorman, and I cannot say, give it up for Robin. I cannot say that every white person or non-black person is against the movement. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? We are all family, but that's the glue that keeps us together. I was a big pro-black teenager because I was angry, and that's violence I could put into something. Dennis explained to me, right, that it does not matter what color you are in this country. You're black, that's number one, you have everything against you. But systematic, the oppression stems from finances, it stems from housing, education. These are who we rely on them to give us education, to give us protection. So this is embedded in our way of living. It's not about white or black no more. That days of racism is over. Today is about change. And I'm just here because I am a pillar. I accepted that of change in the youth, in our direction, in our perception, because I don't want to go in the corner and sell drugs no more.
That's right.
I want to stand here and talk about abolition. That's what I want to do.
All right.
So, y'all part of this movement. I'm 20, right? And I have everything to gain and everything to lose, and I'm here. I don't want to ever see not one of y'all not here for another rally, for voting, for another anything. You're here now, be here forever, because this is not something that just passes away. This is our way of living, it's in our blood. I believe this. I would die for y'all, and I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
You know we have to have our queens represent, so I'm gonna bring up beautiful queen, Miss Sheena Johnson.
I want to thank everybody for being here, but I want to say something about the people who are not here. I want you to look around, because see, there's a movement happening all across the country and all over the world, and people like to post on social media about ideas they have to celebrate days and give us holidays, and they're at a festival taking selfies, but they're not right here. But in just a few short months, they're going to be knocking on your doors, asking you to go to the booth in November to vote for them. Look around. Remember who's not here. Ask them where they were. For those who are representing on the state and the federal level, ask them where they stood on this amendment. Ask them where they stood putting the word out about this amendment, because it's not enough to sit in a chamber and press a button and vote. We need your voice.
That's right, that's right.
Some of these elected officials have reaches in the tens of thousands on social media. They don't have this brother's flyer up for today.
No?
They don't have this brother's flyer up for today. They don't have anything about Amendment 13th up for today. I want y'all to remember that when we go to the booth in November. This is serious. They make money off of our brothers and sisters. I was so happy back when the pandemics first started, when they outed the state of New York about that hand sanitizer they gave out, had our black brothers and sisters in there making it for less than a quarter and distributing it out for free. Did you see the governor give them any credit for making it? No. Absolutely not. We can't live in a state where we say we want freedom and we want everybody to be equal and we're silent. We need to use our voices, our social media, our phones, our conversations with our neighbors to make sure that we get this word out. And it don't stop here, because after we amend the 13th, we still got systemic racism to deal with.
That's right.
We got people educating our kids that are banking on them going into this prison system. We got people at health clinics that are banking on the fact that we don't take care of ourselves and we die, right? We got people working in finance that are banking on the fact that we stay poor. We got people working for the Small Business Administration that are banking on the fact that we won't start our own. So it don't stop here. It don't stop in November. We have some work to do. And it doesn't matter whether you black or white, you're all part of this. For those who are allies who say, you know, I'm not black and I feel bad, and what can I do? Don't feel bad, just move. Just move into action. This is serious, so it can't stop here with amending the 13th. We got some systemic issues to deal with, and it starts right here in Jersey City. And like I said, remember who wasn't here today. Power to the people!
Peace family, my name is Dennis Febo, founder and CEO of Guasabara Warrior Insights, Health and Educational Services. I'm helping to spearhead the Amend the 13th movement here in New Jersey, whereas today we're celebrating Juneteenth, which was a celebration at the liberation from slavery, but we were misinformed and miseducated as we were growing up in school. Slavery didn't really finish. There's an exception clause, and it's in the 13th Amendment. It says slavery and involuntary servitude are illegal except as punishment for a crime where a party had been duly convicted. That loophole in law was used along with scientific racism. From 1865 all the way up until 2020, we have 2.3 million human beings behind walls here in the United States. We're only 5% of the world's population, 25% of the world's incarcerated, mostly happen to be black and brown bodies. We understood that the fight against slavery is not over, so we took charge and spearheaded with the Top Roots movement with Assemblywoman Angela McKnight and Senator Ron Rice, who are both sponsoring the Senate and in the Assembly of the New Jersey government. Whereas this November, we will have a ballot measure where we will add to the Constitution the language, slavery and involuntary servitude are herefore abolished, including as punishment for a crime in the state of New Jersey. So right now we just held a press conference for the media to announce the campaign. We are on Facebook, Amend the 13th New Jersey. If you want to learn more, we have a lot of resources there. Watch the movie The 13th by Ava DuVernay. That's on Netflix and on YouTube for free. And join the movement, family. We need to register our people to vote and educate. Slavery's not over. We still need to fight. November, baby. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robin Gorman. I'm the CEO of Hudson Partnership CMO. We work with kids all across Hudson County. Right now we have about 830 youth that we're working with. Kids who have mental health, substance use, juvenile justice involvement, and developmental disabilities. We first met Dennis through his work at the Hudson County Jail. He was working with adults, and we loved the work that he was doing. We kind of lured him over to work with adolescents. He's been a mentor with some of our kids, and he's since expanded his Guasabara Insights organization to include some clinical services in addition to the mentoring. And he just does an amazing job of helping youth learn about their history, their culture, helps them develop an identity for themselves that is separate from what society has labeled. And he's just a phenomenal person. And when he first told me that he had talked to the inmates at Hudson County Correctional Facility about getting the 13th Amendment changed here in New Jersey and removing the exclusionary clause, I was all on board because I know how mass incarceration has affected the community. I see it every day with these kids who have parents who've been incarcerated. And we know that 70% of kids who have an incarcerated parent statistics tell us that they'll also be involved in this justice system, and we need to break that cycle. So child advocates need to get involved in this cause because it affects the youth that they work with and the families that they work with.
Hey everyone, so my name is Steven Campos. I'm the Community Resource Director for an organization called the Hudson Partnership CMO. We work with kids that are having mental health, behavioral health, developmental disabilities. I'm here with my CEO, Robin Gorman, and a little over 5 years ago, me and Dennis met up and I proposed to him the idea of mentoring the kids that we work with. He explained to me his curriculum about infusing that sense of identity in kids that are really lost and really don't understand where they come from. And I thought that his curriculum was intriguing, and I really believe that kids would be receptive to hearing that lesson. And it worked. 5 years later, he's run some of the most successful programming with our kids that are truly in need and are lost. So what I mean by that is that there's kids in our neighborhoods that are walking around without a sense of identity, and when that happens, what they end up adopting is everything negative that is attributed to their identity. And most times we're talking about black and brown kids, that they're led to believe that everything about their identity is negative. So when Dennis came in with his curriculum, teaching them about their history, their ancestry, that really gives them a sense of pride. And so we saw a lot of uplifting with that. So we've seen so much success with that it was only natural that we would continue this social justice fight in all other arenas, so that way kids and the community at large can really feel a lot more powerful and prideful about their culture and their history. And we have to infuse these activist moments in our culture and our community so everyone can stand up together. Right now, we're seeing a huge uprising with the Black Lives Matter movement, unfortunately from some oppressive situations, and that is the unity that we're talking about, is having everyone stand up and fight for policy changes and procedures changes that really break that cycle of oppression and that negative identity. And this Amend the 13th movement is yet another example of that. So I stand proud with this movement. I know it's going to break the cycle, and I'm just excited to see this continue to go forward.